friends. This is going to be the debater responsibilities, just outlined in a screencast. We might have things look a little bit different since we're doing online learning now, but I just want you to know what the first affirmative, second affirmative, first negative, second negative roles would be in a debate. So these are going to be your jobs depending on what role you have. If you are the first affirmative constructive speech, you'll be speaking first for 6 minutes. You will clearly state the proposition, so that's where you'll state your issue and be clear about it, like there should not be a curfew law for teenagers under 18. Define key terms of the proposition, so, curfew, for example, whatever the key terms are that people are going to need to understand in order to understand the debate. C here is bold or not bold, all caps and has a star next to it because this is the most important. Present the justification for change by attacking the status quo. Why does there need to be a change? You need to prove to me that there has to be some sort of a change. Like there's a problem with the status quo, prove that there is a need for change. The debate will not go anywhere unless you can prove that there's a problem. This is the most important part, especially to start off the debate. So you have to be able to say, there's an issue, there's a problem with the current status quo and the current state of things. That is the most important part of the first affirmative's constructive speech. Then summarize your stand and ask for concurrence. So at the end of each job, each person is going to have to end with asking the audience to side with them. So for example, please side with the affirmative and make sure the abolishment of zoos happens soon. You're just going to say, here's my statement, here's what we want, please side with us, pretty much. The second affirmative is going to start by attacking the status quo if their partner ran out of time. So if first affirmative ran out of time with attacking the status quo and saying why there needs to be a change, then the second affirmative can go ahead and do that. Then they're going to defend attacks on your argument made by the first negative. So this is not the order of speaking, just so you know, and we'll go over that more later. So the first negative would have spoken right in here in between the affirmatives. So the second affirmative is going to have to defend attacks made by first negative. Whatever the first negative brought up, the second affirmative is going to have to defend and argue back with those things. Then you're going to explain the team's plan in detail. And again, this is in all caps with a star because second affirmative, this is your main job. Explain the team's plan in detail. What are you going to be doing specifically? You need to be very specific and clear about what your plan would look like. For example, if your topic was the legalization of marijuana, I have a list here of different things that you should make sure that you cover and answer for me. Are you legalizing both medical and recreational? If you do choose this topic, your answer probably should be yes for that one. Who's it going to be legal for? Can my elementary student buy it on the playground at school? Hopefully not, but answer that question. Where can they buy it? How much can they buy of it? Who can sell it? Who can grow it? Where can it be sold? How much can it sell for? How will you avoid price gouging? How are you going to keep track of who buys what? Are you going to keep track of who buys what? So basically, you're just going to have to be as specific as possible about what your plan would look like. And then again, you want to end with asking for concurrence. So please side with the affirmative and legalize physician-assisted suicide for all. End with asking for people to join your side. For the first negative constructive speech, you'll start by declaring the team's position. Choose one of the following. So the status quo is good as it is. The status quo with minor revisions. So either the current law is good the way it is, or the current law is good. It might need a few tiny little revisions to it, but it's good overall the way it is. B, accept definition of terms or reject the definition and redefine terms. So first affirmative defines some terms. If you accept those, you say, yes, we agree with the first affirmative's term definitions. Or maybe you want to say, we're not totally in agreement with the first affirmative's definitions of these terms. We would say that this term is defined as this. The reason that this is important is because sometimes groups end up arguing over definitions and then the debate kind of loses its focus and loses track of where it was supposed to go. So it is important that both groups are in agreement and understand the definition of terms. The most important part for first negative is to defend your position by proving one or more of the following. There is not a problem. So there are no problems right now. Number two, the problem isn't so bad. Or maybe the problem is already being fixed. Maybe there's already something in place that is working on fixing the problem with the law, and so you don't even need a new plan because there's already something that's being worked towards. Again, explain and ask for concurrence. So for example, please side with the negative and keep the drinking age at 21. Whatever your position is, ask the audience to side with you. If you are second negative constructive speech, it's going to finish defending the status quo and or your position. So if your partner started defending the status quo and your position, you're going to finish with that. Prove to us again why the status quo is good the way that it is. Attack the first affirmative's plan, or first and second affirmative, I guess. Whatever their plan is, whatever they've come up with, you need to dig into their plan and pull out all the bad things about it. You need to say, oh my gosh, the first affirmative said this, and that's what they want to be in their plan, and there's no way that'll work. Or the second affirmative said that this is going to be part of their plan, but that's way too expensive. It's never going to be able to be funded. Whatever it is, you need to dissect their plan and say this is why it is wrong. The reason that this is difficult is because you don't know what the affirmatives are going to say. You don't know what their plan is going to be, so you're going to have to be ready for anything that the affirmatives throw out there for a plan. Whatever they say, whatever they come up with to make changes, try to be ready for anything that they could potentially say. That's why this one is challenging. Any disadvantages of the affirmatives plan you want to call out. And then ask for rejection of the affirmative's proposal. Example, please side with the negative and allow animal experimentation to continue. So asking for concurrence again. So these are the roles and the jobs. We will talk about the order coming up at some point, but whatever role you end up having, just make sure that you look at this so that you know what you're supposed to be doing. Thanks, guys.